Now contenders for the podium places: Red Bull sailing team, Oman Air, Alingi and SAP Extreme sailing team. Those are your top four to watch at the moment. Alingi in the lead, but look at this, Jenny. Team Extreme on the right-hand side. They followed the Swiss. They're looking strong. This is a dream start for Mitch Booth.
You know, I love Mitch Booth's team here. He's sailing with two of his sons. He's from Australia originally, a double medalist, but he lives currently very close to Barcelona. Sons both fluent in English, Catalan, and Spanish. So incredible to have them as a second wildcard entry here, but they've obviously spent a lot less time sailing together, even than the wildcard team, FNOB Impulse. Those guys just came from the Red Bull Youth America's Cup, so the five at least comfortable. It's been hard for Mitch Booth and Team Extreme, and I'm glad to see them racing well right now.
SAP Extreme to Lewis. See just how quickly that's one ravel for steel. High mode for SAP Extreme, so punishing for the boat above them.
Yeah, that was a tough situation for NZ Extreme to have put themselves in. They saw SAP tacking, and then they rolled into the tack. So I think they must be on the ley line to think you can live that close to someone else, knowing when you roll into the tack that you're going to be windward boat. That was a difficult spot for them, whereas Alingi here, they've tacked across. They're coming in from the right-hand side on the ley line, I think, for that left mark, whereas Red Bull sailing team coming in from the left-hand side on the ley line for the right mark. It will be close between those two boats at the top.
Alingi have found the pressure on the right. Red Bull, there's the confirmation, tacking underneath them. Alingi still in the lead as the left and right converge. SAP Extreme have yet to come over from the left, but they were behind Red Bull. So Alingi looking at the top.
Left hand, they've tacked underneath Alingi here, but that was not the best tack. Alingi rolled them. This might be a difficult spot to lay, but I think here we are. They're laying. They will round in second with Alingi in first, just barely.
A big moment for the Swiss team and Alingi. Arnaud Sarafagas, the winner of the 2016 Extreme Sailing Series, in the lead here in race 21 in Barcelona. Oman Air hot on his heels. Oh, a big loser in the closing stages there was Mitch Booth and Team Extreme. He's been forced to tack out to the right-hand side. He's going to be the only boat going down the harbour side of the course.
At least he does have a couple more boats behind him still. You can see NZ Extreme and Land Rover BAR Academy. So for now, Team Extreme up into that fifth spot, while Land Rover BAR Academy chooses to go right as well. So interesting spot, but you can see Oman Air there. They've jibed on the downwind. They were leading. They then were rolled by Alingi. Alingi yet to jibe on the downwinds. And Red Bull sailing team had been in third. So it's going to be a lot closer on these downwinds now that it's lighter for all of the teams. You have a bit more of an opportunity to jump the boat in front of you in a jibe as well.
Now Land Rover BAR Academy struggling at the moment in Barcelona. Some crew changes on the boat, bringing some new members of the Academy up to speed, so we can expect this team to have a little bit of growing pains at the moment. Meanwhile, out in the lead, Alingi, Red Bull, SAP Extreme and Oman Air, all pretty much bow to bow at the moment. The breeze here, Jenny's going light.
Going light, and as we just were talking about, Red Bull sailing team might have just jibed on top of Alingi, trying to get in front of them to steal their air. I don't think they're quite able to here, but if they just jibed one boat length sooner, they might have. Whereas in the middle of the race course, perhaps that scenario is setting up for SAP Extreme and Oman Air. So he's need to heat it up a little bit here, unless he's trying hard for the soak to be able to lay the bottom marks without having to jibe one more time. So a tough positioning here for Red Bull sailing team.
Well, that is phenomenal sailing from Alingi. If they can lay this bottom gate, well, everybody else has got to do a painful 2 more jibes. certainly going to be looking strong here. Oman Air now jibing over onto starboard, along with SAP Extreme and Team Extreme coming in as well. But the leaders, this is the key moment. Alingi coming across. Can they cross the bows? Yes, they do. And Phil Robinson jives over to follow the tails of the
top position here. He to the mark. This mark. The mark they're aiming for is much more favored upwind. It looks like it's probably at least about like maybe 2 further up the course, and they were just so much closer. They didn't want to give up sailing that much extra distance all the way out to the left. So Phil Robertson, a tough spot to be in there, trying to hang to windward of Alingi, who leads around the bottom mark. While it looks like perhaps Red Bull Sailing Team, who were earlier third, have been taken over. They're not even in the top 5 on the leaderboard on the podium anymore.
Well, looking upwind, it's the right-hand side of the course that has paid. Land Rover BAR Academy coming back into the mix. It's Red Bull, the big losers on this downwind leg. SAP Extreme being forced into a very tight position there. But this breeze is softening off, and now a lot of pressure on the tacticians.
You know, a lot of pressure on the tacticians, but they're all in this. So it's either it's going to pay. Mark is, I mean, round choosing to off it for his in stream and Chris Steele. And at this point in time, fair enough, because there are so many boats out to the right. I mean, look at that melee at the bottom mark there. Red Bull, Team Extreme. Behind them, it was SAP Extreme. It's just, there's a lot of bad air for the rest.
Now they are still around, hoping breeze there. Red Bull on the right. Sail low. One boat with clear air, Alingi out in the lead. Boat speed at the moment just shy of 10 knots. This is the Swiss team's chance to extend. Of course, it doesn't really matter how much you win by. It's only going to be 1 point you're going to gain over Oman Air. But Alingi going into this joint on point with SAP Extreme.
Really valid point. Shows you for here. From not stay before was the team to beat, and Arnaud, he said it was because of the boat speed. Upwind, and they are that.
Well, on this upwind leg, the positions that the teams are in at the moment with the breeze.
We want them breeze to stay up so we can get this double points race off. Alingi and Oman Air, on the other hand, probably happy to let it continue to drop out. Alingi, if you're happy to win this race, you know the 25 spire on this race. They're just going down to the here. I'd be happy to see SAP.
Key moment now for Oman Air. SAP Extreme just managed to get around that windward mark without having to tack. So Phil Robinson is able to keep going and keep his speed up. He wants to bear away, but SAP Extreme not letting him yet. So Oman Air round in third place. Alingi well clear in first. However, patchy wind right.
First, so on the mark. 3 of them are able to get through into marks for this.
In Helm on VAR Academy, he'll be very pleased. Light wind leg behind him. Next to the Extreme and cross. Red last place. Well, this is your race leader, Alingi, and they've given themselves quite a healthy ley line coming in, but look at this. On the right, Oman Air finding what must be the only pressure on the race course. They're able to sail low. They're trying to close that distance on Alingi. One final turning mark to go before the reach into the finish. Alingi are comfortably on this ley line, and Oman Air look like they're going to be able to soak down to it as well.
You know, it really looked like Oman Air might be able to roll over the top of Alingi there, but that was just the camera angle being a little bit deceptive. That virtual graphics, SAP graphics showing us that Oman Air actually behind Alingi here. So Alingi comfortably into this bottom mark, as you said. Taking this race will allow them to be third on the podium above SAP Extreme. Oman Air, if they finish second in this race, they will remain on the top of the podium. You can hear Phil Robertson. He's still working the boat really, really hard.
I mean, if you're a betting man, you're going to have to give it to Alingi at this point, but Oman Air is certainly committed to making them work for it. Right at that point, Oman Air managed to get a little bit of depth. Alingi now following suit, bearing away to go around that final green turning buoy. And there you can see them clearing that mark. It's 3 boat lengths, the lead to the Swiss team. But it's not a very comfortable ley line into the finish. It's a little bit of a soak, so still a bit of danger here. And in fact, Phil Robertson sailing a little bit high behind Alingi.
Slight chance we could catch a wave and hook him here.
Still wants to be able to attack. And in fact, you just heard him there talking about hooking Alingi.
I think what Phil actually said, slight chance we can catch a wave and cook him here. So it's light enough now that the waves are faster than the boats. I don't think that slight chance exists, really. I mean, 3 boat lengths is a long way to go, but that is how hard he's fighting until the end to try to take every single race win on offer here in Barcelona. But Alingi looks like they have it nailed as they come into the finish line here. That black mark marking the finish line. Alingi will take what is probably the 6th or 7th race win for them of the regatta.
Alingi 21 breeze highway, but Swiss hopes are ignited. A podium finish in Barcelona, a strong result for Alingi. Second place across the line, it's Phil Robertson and Oman Air, and a huge gap between these top 2 before we get to 3rd place. And it looks set at the moment to be Land Rover BAR Academy. I tell you what, Chris Taylor and his team, they're quick in the light. These dying conditions seems to benefit them.
They really are, and I think SAP Extreme, they did a couple too many maneuvers on that downwind. We saw them jibe out early, they had to jibe back again. They just, at the bottom mark there, had to maneuver, whereas Land Rover BAR Academy, they came in with full pace. They got around them into the lead here for the podium position, the final podium. And Land Rover BAR Academy, that'll make these guys happy. They haven't actually been able to win a race here yet, but they have gotten a 2nd place and a podium position here. Good for them. Possibly even moving them up, while keeping them in 5th place overall.
Well, forward crew member Will Alloway with his head just to leeward of the Code Zero as the boat crosses the finish line. Crew weight forward, crew weight down, light breeze, but none of that getting in the way of the British team as Chris Taylor helms Land Rover BAR Academy across the finish line. Another podium finish for this young up-and-coming team in the Extreme Sailing Series.
Behind Land Rover BAR Academy, it is AP Extreme. Adam Manobro, he had such a good day yesterday to come from 6th up to 3rd place. Then today, struggle in the last race, going from 1st and winning on a port tack to being penalized and dropping down to almost 7th. You could hear the frustration in his voice, and I'm sure right now he won't be that excited to be finishing 4th when Alingi got to take another race win. Alingi then putting points on their closest rivals for the overall series. Now, NZ Extreme, skippered by Chris Steele, coming into the finish here for 5th place. You can see as well Mike below there, the new bowman on board NZ Extreme.
First downwind, yeah.
He's helping us with tactics as well. Chris said he's learned to sail these boats pretty quickly and that he's a good asset physically on board the boat. but Inside Extreme just barely slowly crossing the line, whereas behind the final three boats, a very tight fight. Red Bull Sailing Team having dropped all the way off the mat from second earlier in the race down to sixth place. A really tough result for Roman Hagara and Hans-Peter Steinecker, the guys on board Red Bull Sailing Team. They will not be happy with this position.
There is no way to sugarcoat this result. Roman Hagara, and in fact, Red Bull Sailing Team has not won an act in the Extreme Sailing Series since Singapore in 2015, and that was with Jason Waterhouse at the helm. Roman Hagara, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And could this be the race that has destroyed his hopes of winning? Potentially one more race to go.
Really hard there. Just the responding FP, they basically followed Red Bull too high as well. So it's all right. Red Bull there, crossing the line in sixth. No danger from the two local teams behind. But a very tight for the two local teams just to the left of picture is Team Extreme trying to roll FNOB Impulse, but no, they've had a problem with their Juniker, with their front sail. You can see it wasn't able to unfurl, so FNOB Impulse crossing the line in seventh, while Team Extreme look at eighth.
FNOB Impulse crossed the finish line, followed by Team Extreme. And that brings race 21 to a close. Some disappointment for some key teams in that race. Let's wind the clock back and take a look at the highlights.